Welcome back, everybody. So, this is another episode of Mastering the Life with yours truly, Stevie Jones. I am, in case you did not know before, the National Director of Miss Supranational Trinidad and Tobago. And with us today, and with me today, to have a little sit down chit chat and to get to kind of know one another and to see what's cooking in their neck of the woods is our representative for St. Joseph, Tamara Saunders. Tamara, welcome, my love.
Thank you so much.
How
Hello,
are you?
everyone. I am feeling good. I'm amazing. How are
You're
you?
am- I am good. Better know that you're here.
Okay, thank you.
So I know you say you're feeling good, you're feeling amazing, eh? But
Yes.
we know that's a big lie.
Yes, I'm under the weather, a bit under the weather. I had some health challenges
Hmm.
this week. It's been trying, but then, it could have
Pushing
been
through.
worse.
Yeah.
So I'm pushing.
Okay. But are you taking care of yourself?
Honestly, no, I have not. I've been neglecting myself.
Mm.
This quarantine, I've been pigging out, eating all the wrong stuff. So now I think
Good
it's
to know. Very
good
good
that
to
it
know.
happened. It's good that it happened. It gave me a wake up call. Get back. You need to get right. Get back on the right track. So,
Yeah. And listen, don't be too hard on yourself. I know there are people who are quick to judge and say, my God, she's a easy clean and she's and everything. Listen, we all have those days where we just binge on every single thing. Um, so as fast as you acknowledge that, this is what my situation is, find the courage to kind of climb out of that, especially when it comes to your health. All right.
yes.
So I hope you feel better soon. But I'm glad
Thank
you're
you.
here. I'm glad you look strong enough to get through this.
Yes, I
Um,
am. Thank
Good,
you.
good, good. So, Tamara, listen, you are currently studying at the University of the Southern Caribbean. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you are doing your BSc in nursing. Yes.
Yes, correct.
This is your second or third year.
This is my second year. September will be my third year.
September this year will be your third year.
Yes.
Yeah. How are you coping with your school schedule and your pageant schedule and whatever else you're doing? Because I also know you're involved in the arts.
Yes. So with this whole pandemic, currently school has been put on pause. So it has given me the opportunity to have more flexible time.
Mhm.
So now that I have the pageant occurring, I talked with the persons that were scheduling, and they were so kind enough to schedule everything that it fit perfectly into schedule for me. So I have no problems with time or clashes. They have
Very
to
good.
either run out of school classes or run out of pageant classes. So everything has been running smoothly for me. I usually
Right.
have dance or stretching afterwards, so that's
Mhm.
late in the night.
Right. And for the sake of our viewers, tell us what type of dance are you most skilled in?
My most skilled type of dance would be lyrical,
Hmm.
modern. I love hip hop. Hip hop is my love. Even though I
Right.
don't look like it, I'm more of the graceful type dancer. But when it comes to getting down and hard and this, I'm also hip hop and Afrobeat.
Right. And is this art form an area which you may have studied, or is
No,
this really
it's
just
not.
leisure?
It's leisure, but
Yeah.
I plan to study it in the future. I want to pursue my bachelor's of arts in dance as well.
Nice. Nice. After the pageant.
Yes, sir.
Very well. Okay, good. So you're very multifaceted. So you are artistic, as well as you are studying to enter into a helping profession, which
Yes.
of nursing, and now more than ever, we are seeing how instrumental and how important it is to have medical practitioners in different genres um, really step up to the plate, because you are the ones who really keep the earth breathing. So thank you for challenging yourself to do something as demanding as this.
You're welcome. I don't see it as a challenge, really. I
You,
love helping
you love
and
it, yeah. Nice.
So when it's a
Nice.
love, it's not more of a job. It's just something you love to do. So you don't mind
Ah, yeah,
doing.
lyrics. So, Tamara, I still have to find a nickname for you because I have a nickname for almost all of the other girls.
I feel
And
like I'm
huh?
left out. I'm the black
No,
sheep.
it's because your name has 3 syllables. That's what. But I get one. I
Tammy,
get one. Tammy.
Mara. Yes, Tammy.
Mara? Nah, I'll go with Tammy.
Mara.
I'll go with Tammy. So listen, I want to find out a little bit about um, what are some of the challenges that you as a young person, as a young woman, um, may be living through during this pandemic era.
Okay, so during this pandemic era, some of the challenges that I could, as a young woman,
Mm-hmm.
is that people have these preconceived notions that young people should not be in certain things, like for beauty pageant, being a
Mm-hmm.
Christian, they have this notion that once you get in that, you're going straight to hell, you book a ticket to hell. No, it's not.
Yeah.
And that is something that I have made up my mind to face, and it's not going to deter me or discourage me. But I want to be able to show the younger generation that anything they put their mind to, they could achieve.
Yes.
Also, my skin color is another thing, and hair texture.
So
Skin color,
let's
hair
let's
texture.
let's let's pull up the handbrakes a little bit on this because I I've been chatting with some of your other sisters in other segments
Yes.
like these, and some of us, we've 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 talked about this, and some conversations were more heated than others because everybody brings a different perspective and they read through a different lens.
Yeah.
But you brought it up first, so you are saying that your skin color and the texture of your hair is sometimes, if not more times than often, a problem.
Yes, it
I
is.
want to ask you, what are some of the spaces that it's been a problem in?
Okay, so you would go for job interviews in certain places, and the first thing you would think is that they would look for persons that are qualified. But when you look at it, you would see that the only reason they took somebody is because their skin color. And when you look at the credentials, yours is way higher, but because you're a person that is black or your skin color is darker, you're more pigmented, they put you down, you're here. You can't wear afros to work. And if you go to an interview in an afro, you're more than likely bypassed. I've done this before and I was bypassed. I
Or,
just
it,
wanted
or
to
it's
be,
deemed as inappropriate.
yes, it's not workplace etiquette. So you
Right.
can't do that.
Right.
Also, if you go to certain stores and you enter certain stores, right here in Trinidad, I've had this experience. They're gonna look at your skin color and think you don't have money to afford this. What are you doing? Don't watch it, don't touch it,
Yeah.
you're going to get the attitude from the workers.
Yeah. That's
Even in
that's
food
real.
places,
Mhm.
race and all, even in food places, you would see someone with a certain race or that has a certain color being treated some like better than somebody that is darker or somebody that hair that is nappy. You're just gonna watch it like, what? Don't we? At the end of the day, if you cut each and every one of us, aren't we not going to be
Same
bleed the
color
same red
blood.
blood?
Mhm.
So I don't understand that at all to this day,
Are
and
you
it's
are you
saddening.
yeah?
You could go ahead.
Are you often shocked by the response of people? Because I'm trying to make sense of this because I know different people may weigh in differently.
Yeah.
And I am very open to hearing alternative perspectives.
Yes.
But do you think people respond um, because that's what they know, that's what they grow up in, so the system has taught them almost by default that people of color and women of color, because we've had this conversation where women over the years have had to fight to get into industries that are dominated by men.
Yes.
So I mean, we've seen how that's evolving, but now it's not just women rising to the top of the ladder, but colored women. Right? So whether it's in entertainment or performing arts or industries of finance or healthcare, whatever it is, we're seeing that women are now, according to Miss Universe, taking up their rightful space. But what do you think is causing people like yourself, and I'm saying yourself, I'm not comparing you to me, because you are a Afro-Trinbagonian woman and I am not.
Yes.
Now, in the bigger context of things, we are both black,
Yes. Yeah.
right? So I
Yeah.
can't, when I was living in Europe, when I was going to school, I was the black boy in the bunch. But that's a different, that's the all lives. I am
Yes.
focusing this conversation now on the black lives, the Afro life.
Yeah.
Do you think that most people respond that way because of the system, or because they are just purely ignorant or
I
arrogant?
believe I believe it's because of what they've been taught. If you listen to some of the music
Mm-hmm.
and the way that we are brought up, what your
Yes.
parents were taught by their foreparents, that is what they teach their children. So you would hear the degrading terms instead of African and East Indian, you would hear
You had
Negro
nigger.
or nigger
Yeah.
and coolie. That is what we've
Yes.
been taught, even in the schools. So they grow up with this notion that, okay, I can't mix with this one and I can't mix with that one because mommy said so. Even in some religions, you can't bring home somebody of African descent. You can't bring home somebody that is darker because that is what I've been taught. I can't like
Mm-hmm.
somebody outside of
Mm-hmm.
my religion. I can't like somebody outside of my race because it is not acceptable. It's not the norm.
And that
So
still
people are
exists, eh?
yes, it does. People are afraid of change. I believe some people are totally afraid of change, and the older ones are so set in their ways because they're old. And I'm not saying that you old persons can't change, but because they've had so much time to mature and stick to that, they don't want to change. They don't want to see a new perspective at all. So with your younger daughter coming to tell you, mommy, I like somebody that is not of us, but
Yeah.
they're human, because I believe
Yeah.
that there's only one race. There's a human race. There's no black, no white. There's just humans. And you're coming to tell your parents that I like somebody that is of this ethnicity or this race, and you're telling them no. So they can't love who they want to love, but they have to love who you choose because that person doesn't fit your standards or your list or the box that you have set out.
Sure. See, the thing is, Tamara, we both, and I'm sure generations right beneath us and maybe right above us, we've all, the majority of us were born into this. We were born
Yes.
into this systemic um, bile, so to speak. It's so toxic. And then you have a modern day people, a modern day generation that's more forward thinking, more proactive, more learned in because of education,
Yes.
because of how life has just evolved. And then you have, it's the small voices, it's the few of us who are shouting to the rooftops for equality, for equity, for justice, for all people. And this whole conversation about Black Lives Matter, about all lives matter, it's the same when you really listen deeply and when you peel away the hurt. It's the
Yes.
same cry that women have been crying for women's rights. It's the
Yes.
same cry that children are crying for children's rights and the right to not be sold off and not to be sold off into arranged marriages at the age of 9 and 10 and 12. It's the same rights that the LGBT community has been crying out for, to belong, to be accepted, to be afforded the necessities and all of the other fundamental human rights that every other person, and in this context of conversation, the Caucasian community, have been afforded. The cry is the same. And I think when we listen deeply with our inner ear, what we're hearing from people is that we've had enough imprisonment. We've had enough of feeling of other people making us feel as though we're trash, we don't belong anywhere, and our lives don't matter. And we are both, you and I, unfortunately, and can I be very honest? I pray to God that we don't have children right now. Because I don't want my children. I don't even want my godchildren or my nieces and my nephews. I fear for what they will grow up thinking is okay and is the norm, because it's not okay. It's not okay to kill an innocent black man or a young black girl. As a matter of fact, it's not okay to kill anybody, period,
Anybody.
to start with.
Yes.
That's why we have justice systems. But even the justice systems have been skewed, because the justice systems are now are managed by unjust and prejudiced and racial men and women.
Yes.
Okay, so I just need to get it off my chest again. So I can't, let me tell you, I've had my own share of it, but I can't imagine what you as a young Afro-Trinidadian woman, what you have to live through. And I don't know, how do you cope? How do you cope with that?
To be honest, sometimes it's very overwhelming because you're thinking to the back of your head, aren't you and I both the same? The only thing that is different from you maybe is your color or your hair texture. That's it. But at the end of the day, we belong to the same race. We're both humans. And that is frustrating to me because, sometimes it's not just them, but it's because of how they were brought up. So you can't really like be violent to them, because I don't condone violence at all. But I can't fully say or disagree with something unless I've experienced it. And that for me is just overwhelming. And most of the times I tend to go to God with my problems, because that's the only person that I could rely on. That is the person that I could get my peace of mind, my clarity from. But the saddening thing is, even racism and colorism has reached the church.
Well, I want to dare say that a lot of it came out of the church.
Yes, it has.
Because of colonialism and the birthing of the traditional churches from different denominations. And a lot of religions and denominations it came to the West Indies by whom?
The Europeans, the ones.
So and that's why I think for us, Carnival is so very important. So deeply rich in our traditions and in our history, and in what it teaches us about our identity. So when you hear the Tambu Bamboo movement, and when you hear the African drums, and you see the ballet skirts, and you really, and even the Canbule riots, how could you not, as a Caribbean person, how could you not think that where we've come from in terms of our early historical traditions didn't have any kind of impact on who we are now? And that's why I think, let me tell you, you see the protests that's happening in the US and in Germany. Let me tell you, only say it's not going to have Carnival 2021, huh? No, and I say now that I'm a creative entrepreneur and we need the industry to be able to work and to survive and to live, and I'm a Carnival baby. But again, understand how this thing is wired, Tamara.
Yes.
The people who are now protesting for their rights, and rightfully so, it's because they don't regularly have a healthy space where they can say, this is not working for us. It's not working for us. Now, the argument is, well, then let's go to the ballots. Let's go to the polls. let's change our leadership. But I don't want to see if anything were to happen to us in Toronto.
Mm-mm.
I
I
don't
don't think
want
we can
to
handle
think.
it.
No, not now.
Mm-mm.
I know we've not had carnival before. That was a different generation. Now, I don't know if from a Caribbean perspective, I don't know if we have the temperance to deal with being stifled from not creatively and artistically um, releasing all of our pent up energies, especially after a pandemic like this.
Yes.
I don't know.
I
So,
can
what do
imagine.
you say? What do you say to young Black boys and young Black girls who are younger than you or your age, who may not feel as though they have any voice?
You do have a voice. You have a right to talk. And you could use any means necessary to make your voice heard, not
Yeah,
violence, of course.
yeah,
But there's social
correct.
media. There is always somebody looking up to you. Even if you are not looking on and you don't realize it, somebody is always looking at you. So keep your head lifted up. And even though people may look at you some way, prove them wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Do something that they say that you can't do. You can't go to
Yes.
school. Go to school, get that degree, change life. Change has to begin with us first, I
Mm-hmm.
believe. And if we decide to become more self-aware of the things that we say and how our emotions or impulsive feelings and actions affect us and other people around us, and we begin to understand and cope with this, like some of the things and the jokes that we make, if we
Yeah.
realize what we say sometimes, the power that words have.
Hmm.
Because we have this saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never harm me. And that is
Yeah.
so wrong. And if you
Hmm.
realize that's from childhood, we've heard that from
Yeah.
childhood. So growing up now, it's like, do words really harm? No. When you get older and you realize the impact of words, is like, I've been lied to.
Yes.
So you need to
Yes.
use your words in positive way. Just because somebody has negatively affected you, don't do the same thing. Don't create that chain of hurt. Don't carry it on. Use your words and create a positive impact. Create a positive change. Become the positive for somebody else, because sometimes the things that we go through are not even for us but for our future generation. Be the change for your future children and your future grandchildren to come, because you don't want them to go through some of the things that we've gone through, just like our parents didn't want us to go
For
through things that
us.
they've gone through.
Yeah,
So
correct.
create the change, be that new era, bring in that new era. Let you be the one person that changed the world.
Yeah.
And if we continue this impact, then eventually, little and slowly but surely, we would create change.
Yeah. Yeah. I came across this while I was waiting to chat with you. I came
Yeah.
across this and I screenshot it. Um I saw that on Instagram. It says it's a quote from Nelson Mandela. No one is
Mm-hmm.
born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate. And if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love
Yes.
comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite.
That is so true.
These are taught and learned lifestyles. And I share that with you because I also saw a little video clip on, of course, Facebook was lit yesterday, right?
Yes.
Woo, social media was off the charts. And I stumbled across this one in the video, a Caucasian father and his son, Caucasian son, and the father has a TV monitor screen up, right? And on the monitor has um, 4 photos. In each photo has um, a black child and a white child, right? An Afro whatever child and a Caucasian child in 4 separate screens. And so he called his son and he says, "Hey son, what do you see on that screen?" So bear with me here, right? So the
Yes.
son says, "I see children." And he says, "Okay, what else do you see? What do you see in that top right hand picture?" "I see a girl kissing a boy." "Okay, what do you see in the top left hand picture?" I see a boy and another boy blowing bubbles from a bottle. And the conversation goes on. And for every picture, just cut this story short, for every picture, the child kept saying, well, I see kids playing. And then the father is trying to prod and to prompt him. Okay, well, just one more time. Take a good look. What do you see? What do you see? And the child says, I see grass. And the video ended. And there was no mention in the video of the father sending a message to the world to say, well, you should only see humanity, you shouldn't see black, you shouldn't see white. He left the conversation almost suspended.
Wow.
And it really made you think, if we were children again, or what it would be to be a child again.
Yes, because children don't see color. They play black and white, they play and they
Yeah,
have no problem.
Yeah, well, what I would tell you is that you're greedy for teeth and my lollipop from a lunch kit. That's what I would tell you. But more than likely, they wouldn't say you're greedy because you're black.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference, you know? And I wonder if young women like yourself and your other sisters in the pageant, how would you guys, because when you look, I don't know if you paid attention to it, but when you look at the ethnic demographic of our cohort this year, it's predominantly Afro-Trinbagonian. Snaps
Yes,
to that.
excellent.
Now, I just afraid to snap to them thing because, you know, everybody likes to run out. People like to run out.
He's not being biased. He's not being biased. He's just making us.
I'm not. I'm saying, because I love all my girls the same.
Yes, he does.
I will buff all of them the same, but I love them genuinely all the same. And people have accused directors. They've accused, well, nobody have accused me, thank God. And I pray that the heavenly hosts would protect me from that. But I have heard with my ears, the population accuse directors and accuse franchises of, oh God, another Indian girl or another YT. I've heard it. I've worked with other franchises in this country. We've heard it. That's a real thing, you know? Worse again if listen. It is so unnecessary. And I am like, here is what. Before we have this argument, you just come and spend one day with them. And you will see. You will see all who lazy, who give in trouble, who you can't work with, who have attitude. Those are the things that we make a decision on. Not the color of your skin or the type of hair you have.
Exactly.
My thing is, if you're black, you'll be black and rock your blackness. You want to rock it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand.
And I said, people don't come at me with that dotishness because my father is a black man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't get, this is gel. Don't get tired up at all. Right? My father is a hardcore black man. So that's rubbish. And we don't condone that. Where the work that we do is we lift people up. We lift them up. And when they don't have the strength and we don't have the strength to lift them up, we kneel with them.
Yes.
We bring ourselves down and we stay there with them for a while. Because it's important for us to be able to be relational.
Yes.
And in our humanness, we ourselves do have the courage to do the holding up. So sometimes we come down and we stay down there with you for a while. And then when the rain has fallen and we kind of get watered, we rise again. We rise again. And that's what I want for you all.
Yes.
That's what I want for you all.
I think most people don't get to see the work that goes behind the pageant. So
well,
they make
tell them.
Preconceived notion. Yeah, we work very hard, extremely hard. This person right here, he does not play. He goes his girl hard because he wants the best for us. They help us to grow and develop our own passions, our own interests. I could honestly say once you enter Miss Supernatural and Stephen and his team is there to work you, you are coming out. Even if you don't win 40 better, you're going to be a better person for society in the long run.
So to those of you who are joining us on this live, you are going to hold her to that, okay?
Yes.
Because we've heard that.
Yes.
We hear that all the time. We hear it. You know, we hear it. Oh my God, the pageant is so good, yeah.
No.
And when
No.
it's competition time and people don't make the top three and they don't win, oh God, they're cheat. They're right.
No. No.
But
No,
I'm
that is
saying that
incorrect.
as a reference to say the true test of our talk is when we are put into a situation where we have to practice it.
Yes.
So if the pageant, and I'm using this into the context, so for the people who are on this live and who are journeying with us and who are getting
Yeah.
to know about who we are, the real test of our talk, of our philosophy, is when we are in a situation where the lights are off, there is no glitz and glamour, and we have to do the hard work. And the hard work comes when you and I don't win. The real test of our courage, our tenacity, our bravery, the real test to see if we really did learn something is even if you came 20th out of 20 in a competition, that the experience, the learning, the development, the discovery that you would have made, that you would take that and transform it into something for yourself. How many beauty queens you see have done that in their lives? They didn't win no pageant. They never come first. Wendy Fitzwilliam, do you know when Wendy competed for at Miss Trinidad and Tobago in Trinidad here before she went to Hawaii? Do you know Wendy did not win her pageant? Wendy was the first runner-up because that was the regime where they would crown multiple girls. I think may have been 3 or 5 girls. Forgive me if my stats are off. And you go to World, Universe, International, yada yada yada. So you go to the big 5 pageants. Wendy didn't come first. Look at people like Nicole Dyer and Kanisha Tom and Arlene Peterkin.
Yes.
Look at them. Look at Gia, your own super sister, right?
Yes.
Gia maybe walk more runway than half of the people in the,
True.
and everybody want to do a live with Gia, want to engage her in some kind of community project. Poor child, and now she's home quarantined. And that's because the test of our character is really when it is time for us to serve. Not to slay. Now, the slaying is important. The slaying is good. It boosts your confidence. And you tell them there are only 2 people in this room. Me and the person who wants to marry me, according to Lucia. And that's great.
I'm taking that.
There's a time and place for that. You know? So recently, Tamara, I'm sure you know this once you've been paying attention. The Miss Supranational organization in Poland, our president, Gerard von Lipinski, launched yesterday the Community Social Initiative, the CSI, and it's called From the Ground Up. This From the Ground Up grassroots movement is part of the developing of the DNA, the identity of the Supra brand. So when people ask, well, what does Miss Supranational stand for? Who is she? What does she do? Here it is. You, a few weeks ago, would have participated in your social responsibility. So share with your friends and your fans here on this live what you've been up to.
Hello. So what I've been up to is my social responsibility challenge. I chose dance because dance is The thing that I've been able to use to create a platform for the youth that I was able to reach. So with ADU, it started off as a church-based program, but Maxine wanted to carry it further and create it as a youth-based program. So when that started in 2015 and we joined, we were just being trained, and then as you worked your way up, situation and circumstances played us each one by one. The girls started to go through things, depression, and
Mm.
Maxine was there to coach. She even brought in mentors for us. So we had the mentorship to what to look up to, how to develop, and it was getting to a point where I started to consider giving up dance at one point. And I remember Maxine sat down with me and she gave me her life story. And I just started to cry because there I was now 15, 16 there. And I'm like, I ready to give up. What have I been through in life to give up?
Yeah,
Nothing really.
yeah,
And then I used that fuel to continue to dance. And
right.
it helped me so much in that in school I wasn't getting in as much trouble as I used to before because I was a little troublemaker in school. If you ask my mom, you know, I was always in trouble. But with dance, she taught us that you had to have the discipline to continue to dance. And
Right.
going through dance over the years, I began to become more disciplined. I was more focused in school. My teachers pulled my mom aside one time. I remember I was in Form 4, and she asked, "What you doing different?" And they're in a corner,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm standing up here, and she's literally whispering, "What you doing different? She quiet,
Mm-hmm.
she quiet." I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you all I can hear you, right? But it was such a relieving thing to see that I had changed so much, and that people were recognizing it. And after a while, I made it to the elite team, which is really hard. Thanks,
Mm-hmm.
Maxine.
Mm-hmm.
But I made it to the elite team, and then she gave us the opportunity to move on to the board. And you would either start off as an administrator, and then you would work your way up. So currently, I'm the administrator now, so I schedule classes and I do programs and help to schedule when we bring in mentors and to help evaluate the girls and to give them this uplift. Sometimes they come to you with situations and you're shocked that these kids go through these things, and you would never believe that young people go through these type of things in their life, and you're able to encourage them. Here's what I've been there before, I've done that before, and you'd be shocked to see that they are glad that they can have somebody to talk to, that they can relate to. Sometimes they leave their troubled homes where there's fighting, where they can't sleep, and they come to edu, and that is their safe haven, that is their peace. And we wanted to
Right.
continue that and broaden it so that if we could get more youth in and get them to become more disciplined, get them to be more focused, then there's less of a chance that you would find a little girl out there partying. I'm not saying it's wrong to party, but
Sure,
it's less of
sure.
a chance you would find a young minor partying where she should be focusing on school, because in
Right.
AD you have to keep your grades up in order to dance. So you love the dance
Right.
and you love that you get to go to events to dance, but you're gonna want to push in school to go to these events, and it encourages them. It gives them something to look forward to, and that is what I aspire and I love it for, because
Fabulous.
it's not every day you see a dance program, because there's the arts and there's payment, a lot of payment for it. And when they have this program and it's outreach to them, they grab at it. It was shocking to see the amount of youths we had passed through the program so far.
Fabulous. Remind us, what does ADU stand for?
ADU stands for Anointed Dancers United.
Anointed Dancers United. And who can access this program?
Anyone can access this program. Whether
Yeah.
you have kids, we have kids program. They are the kids. We have a pre-teen, we have a teen group, we have the elite, and then the adults can join the elites as well.
Right. And do you have to be of a particular religious persuasion to join?
No,
Okay,
that's the
so you
thing.
could be
All creed,
anybody.
all race, everyone is welcome to ADUs.
Everybody is welcome to ADU. Everybody is welcome to ADU. Okay, so tell us whether you want to join ADU as a child, a teen, a young adult, or even as an adult, or if someone may want to support the work that you guys do at ADU in affording people a safe space where they can express and to discover more of their creative side, and to build on other skill sets and capacities, where can they find you and how can they support you?
You can find us on Facebook at Anointed Dancers United. You could also find us on Instagram at AD United.
Right.
And you could support by donations. Sometimes we need basic necessities for the girls because some of the girls are not well off. So
Right.
you could support, you could drop in your items.
Right.
Also, we do hampers sometimes for the community. So you could drop in non perishable food items. We're currently in the process of being registered and looking to purchase a building. So we've been saving and having fundraisers. So when we have fundraisers, you could support. If you
Right.
need to call, you can contact me or Maxine. Our numbers are on AU
Right.
page.
Fantastic. And people can also access you via your Miss Supranational pages.
Yes, they
Yes?
can. It's
Fantastic.
T.Saunders underscore MSPT finalist 2020.
Fantastic. And that's via Instagram and on Facebook, just in case
Facebook.
you're just joining this live and you're picking up the tail end of the conversation. We've been chatting, I have been chatting with our representative in the Miss Supranational Trinidad and Tobago 2020 pageant. She is Tamara Saunders, the representative for St. Joseph, and she brings with her her professional background. She's also a nurse in training, and she has a love for the performing arts fraternity. And so, by way of her community service initiative from the ground up, she is inviting all of you who may be in some way interested in supporting that work and helping young people. And tomorrow, just before we go, it's for both male and female, yes?
Yes. We
Fantastic.
have dance for the boys and sometimes we do football for the community so the boys are able to engage in football as well.
Right. So it's everyone is welcomed. This is community meeting community where they are at. So Tamara, thank you so much, my love, for having a chat and for I know you've not been feeling very well. I do encourage you to continue to take care of yourself, take care of your temper because we need you around for a really long time.
Yes,
and
I
and the
will.
people who have been working with you, they also need to be inspired by your kindness.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for being such a good sport. Friends, thank you so much for joining us. Continue to follow our journey all the way to Poland. And if you would like to become a part of the Miss Supranational family right here in Trinidad and Tobago, there are many ways that you can do that. And to begin uh, that first step, all you have to do is click like, follow, share, subscribe on our platforms. So you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube at Miss Supranational TT, or you could slide up into our DMs, send us a private message, and we'd be more than happy to lock hands together and make this super brand the best. Yes?
Yes.
Fantastic. So it's been wonderful chatting with you guys. I am Stephen Jones. It's been another episode of Mastering the Mind. But until next time, we're going to send you peace and love. And please, please take care of yourselves and your loved ones as we continue to observe all of the COVID-19 measures to flatten the curve. Until then, ciao.
Bye.